remember me. I hope everyone is doing well. I'm doing okay, thanks. First off, a couple of notes about the opening stats to this video. This is the last video wherein I'll be in the 200s. I should have been in Wonderland by now, but I've just reached one of those points in my journey where, looked at from one perspective, it gets a lot harder. I say looked at from one perspective because the other way to look at it is that it's not necessarily harder, it's just simply slower. So the first perspective brings with it a lot of frustration, and the other perspective does not. It just requires me to choose to be patient, so that's what I'm doing. Another note on the opening stats is that you may notice I revised my my fat percentage estimate from last video. I discovered that if I measured my neck in a slightly different spot, it was an eighth of an inch narrower than I thought it was. So I've chosen to go with the more conservative estimate. I just prefer that. So, and you also may have noticed a big drop in lean mass. I wouldn't get too freaked out over that. I'd stopped taking creatine, so at least a pound or two of that lean mass loss is just water loss from that change alone. And that's not to say that I've done all that well in terms of fat percentage improvement, but the situation is not as dire as it may seem. So part of the reason why I haven't done as well in the fat percentage department is that I changed my strength training routine. I've gone from doing my full body every second day to doing my full body every 3 days with a 3-day split routine. So basically, on the first day I do legs and abs. Second day I do upper body push exercises. That's basically chest, triceps, and some shoulder exercises. And then on the third day I do upper body pull exercises, which is basically back, biceps, and the other shoulder exercises. So in terms of time, it's pretty much equals out, because I go from doing about an hour every second day to doing a half an hour every 3 days. But it's just not as effective, because doing full body exercises on one day and then giving your full body a day of rest is just more consistent with hypertrophy specific training principles. I just decided to switch it though, because I'm finding that doing a half an hour every day is just a lot more sustainable for me in the long term than doing a full body, really hard workout every second day. I don't know. It's not nearly as effective, but I can always go back to the old routine when and if I feel like it. We'll see what happens. So this has also required a fundamental change in my diet as well. Because it used to be that on my workout days I was unrestricted with my food, and I could include cheat meals if I wanted to, and then on my non-workout days I restricted my carbs. But now that every day is a workout day, I can't really restrict my carbs like I used to, because doing that is about as effective as trying to run your car with an empty gas tank. It just doesn't work. It may work for a few days, but it doesn't work long term. So now that every day is a workout day, there are no more restrictions. I've doubled down on my intuitive approach. No restrictions of any kind. I eat when I'm hungry. I eat enough to satisfy. I eat foods that make me feel good. I don't often eat foods that don't, but I do have a life to live and shit happens. The minimums are all still in place. So I have a minimum for protein of 1 gram per pound of lean body mass, which in my case right now is 152 grams per day. I have a minimum of 30 grams of fiber. I still take fish oil for a minimum of omega-3 fatty acids, and now I've included a handful of mixed nuts that include almonds, pistachios, and cashews for a minimum of my monounsaturated fats. I continue to not give a shit about calories, and I continue to be one of those assholes that thinks he's smarter than all the so-called experts. But I will not continue to be one of those douchebags that stop making videos unexpectedly and without telling anyone. I don't always have anything, I don't always have a lot to say that's interesting or new. But I have to keep in mind that I used to be a morbidly obese person with absolutely no hope. And now that I have become one of the few embodiments of hope, I feel like I have a certain responsibility to those who are where I was. And so that won't happen again. And so now on to Wonderland, and I will see you all in 2 weeks. Okay, bye-bye.